The purpose of this channel is to help prepare you to love well. If you think we can do a better job with love and relationship than we're currently doing, then you're in the right place. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually take a quiz together. The last 2 weeks I've been studying and researching what are the main messages that movies have been sending us about love and relationship. And it's been pretty eye-opening. So sit back, get ready, we're going to take a quiz together and we'll see if you see some of the same things that I did. So for this quiz there's going to be 2 parts. The first one is I'm going to say what the theme is, especially keying in on what the message on love and relationship and the approach to love and relationship is in the movie. You try to identify the movie from that. The second section is actually going to be, I'm going to come up with a category or a certain lesson or thought that is expressed in movies, and we're going to maybe throw together how many movies we can think of that fit that we might be learning from. As I do this, I want you not just to figure out what the movie is, but actually try to compare what you think the lesson of that movie is with things that will actually lead you to a happy relationship, a good marriage, a healthy dating life, and see how many of these are actually conflicting to those goals. Okay, so the first one is the story of a young woman who defies her family, sneaks out, risks her life, her health, and her future to follow a young man she literally doesn't even know his name. She knows nothing about him. I'll give you a hint. Think red hair and a tail. Yep, it's the children's story of The Little Mermaid. So the second one is a blockbuster hit. It's a story of a prostitute who falls in love with her client. And this story basically teaches us that there are no consequences to the decisions we make or the past that we carry, that love will always overcome and always find us. There's a lot of other issues with this movie, the kind of voluntary view that they give of prostitution, which in many cases it's anything but voluntary. But I can kind of guess that you probably know which one this is. It's Pretty Woman. So number 3 is the story of a professional woman who decides it's time to have a relationship. And the things that she decides is she needs to lose weight, wear tight clothes, she needs to go find herself a man. And if that doesn't work out, then plan B is she's going to spend her life as a spinster eating Haagen-Dazs and Oreos and crying over movies. So the end result of this movie and its greatest lesson is if you're not with someone, you're kind of worthless. Any guesses on this one? Bridget Jones' Diary. So number 4 is also a blockbuster. It's a story of a young woman who is engaged to be married, and one night she overhears a man talking about his love for his late wife. And she is willing to, just from that one encounter, be unfaithful emotionally and mentally, to go ahead and take off to go see if she can meet him. And she ends up ending the relationship with the fiance, which in a movie world they make absolutely seamless so nobody is hurt. And she and the widower meet each other and everything is picture perfect, and it just gives us this great idea that love is magical and no matter what you do it will find you, and anything that looks anything less than that just can't be real love. So yeah, that one is Sleepless in Seattle. So the 5th movie is a story of a couple that spend the day together in New York City, and it's an amazing day. Perfect, movie perfect day. When he asks the woman for her number at the end of their time together, she says, I'm not going to do that. She was in a relationship. So she writes it on a book jacket so that if they ever comes back to him, then they'll know that it was right. So they go on throughout that story and both get engaged to other people, and everything in life pales in comparison compared to a 5-hour date. So you get the theme that I'm kind of getting to here is it's the idea that you have a soulmate. Don't waste your life until you find that one. And when it is right, everything else is going to pale in comparison. It's not really a choice you make as much as it chooses you. So this movie is called Serendipity. So our last movie is a classic. It's the story of a man who has a horrible temper. He behaves like a tyrant. He has fits of rage. And very early in the movie, he imprisons a beautiful young woman. And it's a little bit R. Kelly-ish. So she ends up getting the idea throughout the movie that there is something redeemable about him and she needs to be patient. And through time, of course, if you're willing to put up with being treated badly and spoken to badly and abused emotionally, then odds are good that your prince is going to show up inside this person. You got to get the sense in this movie that even if they're not good to you, they could still have good hearts, which I think we can probably all agree is not a message we want to send young men or young women in an age of abuse. So this story and movie and play is called The Beauty and the Beast. We're not going to spend any time talking about the classic Cinderella story. The rescue narrative is obviously a very big part of movies about love and relationship. But I had a little bit of fun just looking at how many renditions of Cinderella we have in the movie scene. We have Into the Woods, a Cinderella story, Ella Enchanted, another Cinderella story, and there were obviously other ones too that are more fringe. So what we're going to do now is look at some categories that movies fall into, some of these major themes that we probably should be aware of so that we can be prepared ourselves and prepare others to kind of put it up against what reality really is. One of those themes are complete opposites that fall for each other. This whole idea that opposites attract, which to some degree is true, except when you are looking for a healthy relationship, compatibility has to be something you build on, whereas opposites within that compatibility then make relationship exciting. So when we think about opposites attract, we probably don't want such polar opposites that we don't even want the same things in life. So a couple of the movies that really bring home the idea that opposites attract are The Proposal, Harry Met Sally, Dirty Dancing, Titanic, A Star is Born, A Walk to Remember. Basically, these are all movies where they had literally hardly anything in common, and there was a real volatile interchange between all of them. So maybe not the best lesson to be sending our teenagers. Another theme that we see a lot in movies are this, like I said before, the rescue narrative. It isn't always men rescuing women. Sometimes it does go the other way, and there's nothing wrong with the idea that someone can come along in your life to make your life better. But unfortunately, one of the main themes that we see in movies is that lives are absolutely desolate and that this person comes and makes it worth living. And that isn't really the kind of message we want to send, because we have more of a dependency there in a relationship than we do a coming together of equals. Some of the popular movies where the man comes in and saves would be Jerry Maguire, Pretty Woman, Aladdin, Gone with the Wind, Atonement. Some of the more popular ones where women come in and do the saving would be A Star is Born, Hunger Games, Divergent, Tangled, Enchanted, Mission Impossible 3. So this whole idea of a rescue narrative needs to be balanced out with two healthy people that come together would be an ideal situation. And that's our quiz. I hope this was a little bit of fun for you as you think about what the themes are in our popular movies. Clearly, we want to be able to enjoy the entertainment in our lives, but maybe we need to step back a little bit and think, how might that affect us or affect younger people when they go see movie after movie with some of these themes? Next week, we'll continue a little bit more into what we're learning and look at a few studies and see how they affect us. I hope you'll join. I hope that you'll follow us and subscribe and interact and engage. Our goal is to have a community here that will help each other to love well. Thanks for taking the time to be here, and I look forward to seeing you next week.